Ride the Void, the new album from Holy Grail, just released this past Tuesday, the follow-up to their critically acclaimed Crisis in Utopia. That is what's next on the docket here at coverkillernation, and this is a coverkillernation debut. I don't believe I spoke about Crisis in Utopia, but we are going to talk about Ride the Void because it has been requested by quite a few of you, and I am certainly willing to honor that request. Now, Holy Grail is able to blend a very unique, I guess, band of different ideas together. They have very, very diverse guitars that have a lot of technical precision to them. They have power metal vocals, and they're able to channel a lot of influences from classic heavy metal, new wave of British heavy metal, shred, and different allegiances of metal alike. And whenever this combination comes together, you have a very, very interesting product, one that you actually kind of are surprised has not kind of broken through into a more, I almost don't want to say the word, but I'm going to have to say the word, commercial landscape. This is one of those bands with one of those albums in Ride the Void where I almost feel like this is something where they could get some airplay for a couple of these songs, because it is something that, even though it does contain a lot of over-the-top guitar acrobatics and does have that high-register power metal style vocals for the most part, the cleans definitely remind you of some of the bands that you're hearing a little bit more on the radio these days, and I almost shudder to mention some of the names. However, I'm going to have to say the one that reminds me the most is Avenged Sevenfold. This is not in any way, shape, or form knocking Holy Grail for using their blend to their advantage. It's definitely just something that I noted because it does have sort of an accessibility to it. It reminds me a little bit of Into Eternity as well, with the blend that they're able to offer. This is something that is definitely very in your face. It's able to consistently stay on par, if not above par, with the guitar heroics that you're used to on other bands' records of this caliber or of this same idea. The one thing that I will say about this affair, it does clock in a little bit more than 50 minutes. It does sometimes, at some points, seem to lag a little bit, and I'm not sure if this is because the ideas start to lose their freshness a little bit, or if it's just an idea that over time seems to become very commonplace to you. You become very used to the whole concept. You know that there's going to be, those clean power metal style vocals. You're going to probably get an over-the-top technical solo in there. You're going to get the occasional deathy style vocal every once in a while. It's just something where the formula tends to become rehashed a little bit, and you kind of see it coming. There is a bit of diverse blend here with this album as far as the tempo is concerned, so that is something that works to Holy Grail's advantage, and a lot of people, I think, are going to certainly be taken aback by their precision and their ability to really blend some fantastic solos and guitar work into an album that has above average vocals, I have to say. The drumming is very precise and the bass is very rich. So overall, this is a blend where it just seems like as the experience wanes on, it just sort of maybe becomes a little bit tiring. And what I really enjoy are the songs that are able to extend it a little bit. There is a track number 2, that is able to go into roughly the 6-minute range. We're getting close to it, called Bestia Triumphans, that I think really showcases what this band is able to do in a really a grandiose form. It just seems like as it continues onward, they kind of just stick with that kind of 4-minute song formula, and the diversity kind of hurts it. I also had this problem with a Nevermore album, the follow-up to Dreaming Neon Black. It seemed to really the follow-up to Dead Heart in a Dead World, and that just seemed to remain in that same little proximity, Enemies of Reality. It's not a bad album, but it's just one where they kind of hover around the same range, and it doesn't really necessarily knock the diversity of the album, but it seems almost pre-planned, but it really probably was not. Overall, this album definitely has its solid points, its positive points. I definitely have to compliment the guitar work on this. This is a new guitar player, an ex-member of Bonded by Blood. I definitely have to compliment the songwriting, because they definitely are able to do what they do well. I just feel that there is still some growing that can be done for these guys, and do not be surprised, though, if these guys start to break through a little bit. I've already noticed it somewhat just by selling this album in my store. I've seen a couple of people purchasing this record that I would not expect. Yeah, it's kind of an interesting notion. But Holy Grail, Ride the Void, you have to give it a solid 8 out of 10. Definitely has a lot of positive element to it. I still think that it could have done a little bit more, but it's a pretty solid debut. I gotta give them a lot of credit. I know this is their second album. It's a Cover Killer Nation debut. You don't have to call me on that. So don't forget to like and comment on this here. Subscribe to Cover Killer Nation. We have a lot of reviews coming, and I will talk to you guys next time. See you later.